Hello, hello, and welcome to Non Sequitur News for November 22nd, 2024. I am Mayor Watt. The sentient AI is not available, and I'm going to talk about these 10 articles. I'm going to treat this as a time machine episode of sorts, because I'm going to go through the articles really quick, and then it'll get posted over to YouTube, and the ohmTown bot over in twitch.tv/ohmTown will still be able to provide you with the URLs. But anyway, the 10 articles we're going to talk about are 8 programming languages. Is bread more expensive? Homework emergency. OpenAI's new browser. The most painful Lego. Wi-Fi enabled plug. Consumer trust during Black Friday. Human washing machine. Infringed copyright 10 years ago, and an 85-inch TV for Black Friday. Maybe it might be sold out. I don't know. Everything's powered by ohmTown.com, so go over there and become a citizen. See you later. Well, we're gonna do this. Okay, hopefully you can hear music in the background. It's pretty quiet, but at any rate, I am Mayor Watt. Thanks for coming to Non Sequitur News for November 22nd, 2024. And like I said, I'm going to be going through these pretty quick, so we'll see if you dig the articles. Be sure to follow us here on Twitch and over on YouTube. YouTube holds the long-term storage for the show, and there's actually 6 other podcasts and the Non Sequitur News Show, which is another podcast. So we have 7 total over on YouTube. That means that we have over 1,500, approaching 1,600 episodes. So go over there and follow us, because after 60 days, I pay for twitch.tv to not delete my episodes. But after 60 days, they go bye-bye regardless of how much I pay, I suppose. I don't know. But let's get into today's articles. And if you have questions or comments or concerns, feel free to let me know in chat. Oh, by the way, if you want today's articles, this will end up in the VOD. So !NSN, and then ohmTown will post all of the articles and their little headlines. So no particular order. It's not like a top 10 list or anything like that. It's just articles that I found interesting. So hopefully you find them interesting as well. So the very first article is about programming languages. And so the first article is in Non Sequitur News over at ohmTown.com, but it's aggregated from Business Insider. And they say, coding languages are a foundational element of any tech job, but not all are made equal. I don't know about that. Any tech job. You don't even need to know programming to a great degree, even in cybersecurity. But you do need it in programming, software engineering, obviously, and a few other places, but like big data. But even then, it's mostly Python, and but they go into greater detail. Not all are made equal. Python and SQL are among the most popular languages. C++ and Tableau are more specialized. Business Insider spoke with recruiters and tech workers to identify the top 8 languages to know. So Bianca Chan over at businessinsider.com put the article together, and they say coding languages are a foundational element of any tech job, but not all are made equal. There are plenty of jobs that you don't need in tech, that you don't need to know programming. You don't need to know programming in most, even administrative positions. You don't need to know programming in even networking. You need to know what networking is. You need to know what scripting is, but that's different than programming, coding languages. And but I would say that Python is the entry level programming, hardcore functional programming language that a person can learn. Beyond that is Java and C++ and so on. But Python and Java should be number 1 and 2 in this list, not in any particular order at the moment, but the more hardcore you go, like fintech and things like that, you'll end up wanting to know more and more languages, not just these, or not just Python or Java. But if you look for Java and Python jobs, you're going to find that that's most of them. It's quite interesting. It says Apple created Swift to replace use of C++, the company's primary coding language for its devices. But if you understand Java, then you can pretty much code Swift. You'll have to understand the syntax and change things around a bit, but hey, it is what it is. You have to learn a bunch of different languages, actually, if you're going to be a sophisticated software developer. But hell, you can learn Godot and you can develop games all day long as you're a creative. But at any rate, I want to get to the list, and I wonder if that's what they are. So they say, here are the programming languages to learn. So Python is what they say. Application across finance, job, or firms, job titles and levels, and deep into things like cybersecurity, which is about as far away from financial firms and non-IT that you can get. I mean, financial firms are not IT and not technically a tech job, but you have to know programming if you're going to be doing fintech. So there's a lot of different things in finance, not necessarily tech. Anyway, firms using it, banks, hedge funds, investment firms, and that's because they're doing data manipulation, monitoring data as it flows through, processing things, and even going deeper into math and science. MATLAB and Python work hand in hand. Then there's SQL, which is more about databases and big data manipulation, and you'll work hand in hand with Python and SQL from time to time. SQL is a relational database language, but the programming side of that is functionally SQL, which, again, if you learn Java, you're good to go. You'll be able to understand the logic that is required for SQL. C++, again, but it says it's low latency applications. It's got a pretty strict syntax. You'll have to learn all of that as well. Tableau and Power BI. Programming wise, I would say that it's all been done in Tableau and Power BI. You could probably find most off-the-shelf scripting just by doing a search or working with ChatGPT, for crying out loud. Now they mention Java, and it says big banks and more legacy technology, but they seem to be focusing on banks, like firms using it, wealth managers, banks. That's, again, Tableau and Power BI. It's quite fascinating that all of this is mentioning banks. Look, again, Rust and Go. For app development, it says fintechs and banks. It's just amazing that they kind of locked in on that. So, but it's all because of this title, right? 8 programming languages to know to land a job on Wall Street. If you learn any of these languages, you can go way beyond Wall Street and hang a shingle and be a consultant. But anyway, you can make a lot of money learning Java and Python in anything way beyond Wall Street. Let's keep moving, though. This next article is over in Non Sequitur News. Did California's minimum wage increase make bread more expensive? If you remember any of our episodes, one of them we discussed the idea that there was going to be an increase in the minimum wage in California, and there was a bread company. I won't even go into it, but they have kind of a casual dining thing and a lemonade that would kill people periodically, apparently. Anyway, they managed to get their way, avoid having to increase the minimum wage increase, right? Because if you made bread in California, then you had a special exemption. It was quite fascinating. So Snopes put this article together. Joey Esposito put it together. And the deck statement says, a social media account sharing the claim that said, this is what happens when you decide to redistribute wealth, which is, I would just say, batshit crazy, because somebody charging more for a product is akin to redistributing wealth, because it's taking from a plurality and pulling it to a damn near singular entity. And it's not the common Joe. So this redistribution of wealth claim from either side of it is kind of bullshit. But let's just say that if a bunch of organizations merge and acquire each other and consolidate power, influence, regulatory control, etc., you're doing a redistribution of wealth, because when they raise the prices, a whole shit ton of wealth gets concentrated, like I just said. But I'm trying to say it in another way that maybe more people will understand. Well, anyway, so it was labeled satire in Snopes, and I'm pretty sure that you had to go rooting around to verify that this was actually satire. But it says the article lists the writer of this. I guess it was on Facebook. It was titled "America Loves Liberty. This is what happens when you decide to redistribute wealth. The working class pays for it." Well, yeah, that even though if it is a satire, they say a loaf of bread in California is now $10.99 because the burger flippers had to have their $20 per hour. But I'm really curious. Did it actually increase? So according to the state of California's Department of Industrial Relations website, the statewide minimum wage was $16 per hour. However, in January of 2024, however, in April 2024, a new law increased the wage for employees of fast food restaurants to $20 per hour, which is kind of a riff off of what they said, right? Because burger flippers had to have $20 per hour. So, as reported by the Associated Press, the law applies to restaurants offering limited or no table service and which are part of a national chain with at least 60 establishments nationwide. According to the article, there's no evidence that bread reached $10.99 per loaf in California. A search for wheat bread on the website for Ralph's, a supermarket chain with 20 locations in Los Angeles alone, showed options ranging from $1.69 to $5.99. Likewise, no credible news outlets reported on the alleged price increase. So I find it quite interesting that even joking, the data doesn't support it, but nobody would know that. And there are people out there that are clamoring for the claim, the reinforcement that their particular ideal, that somebody else wanting more money for their job because they can't pay for anything, including the very food that they're actually putting together in a fast food restaurant, want more money. You know, a livable wage is something that you should really aspire to get. But again, you know, you ideological bent is damn near impossible to snuff out, as we're all witnessing, because logic doesn't really play into it. Anyway, let's move on. The next article is over on the Mobile channel. 10-year-old called 911 for homework help, and the cops actually came. So a 10-year-old boy sought help for his math homework one way he knew how, dialing 911. It says, and honestly, it seems warranted to me. And that's not me, it's the Vice author. That's who put it together. If math is anything like what it was when they were in grade school, they fully understand this boy's decision to call for help. At age 10, homework really did seem that important. According to the Shawano Sheriff's Office in Wisconsin, the boy told the 911 dispatcher, Kim Kraus, that he knew he shouldn't be calling, but he really needed help with his math homework, and he even added that his family wasn't very good at math. Ouch. 10-year-old bus just rolled right on over the family. Sammy Caramella over at Vice.com put the article together, and the deck statement says again, if math is anything like what it was when they were in grade school, they fully understand the boy's decision to call for help. So I called this a a homework emergency. So the best part, Krause actually attempted to help him. She had some time, so she said, "I can help you with the problem," or "Can I help you with the problem?" Shawano County Sheriff George Lenzer told Good Morning America of Krause, and well, he gave this long problem with decimals and she was unable to help him, so she informed him, "Well, let me see if I got a deputy near your residence to help." Oh my God. So a 911 operator couldn't help somebody with a decimal problem. Okay. I'm really curious now. Though the sheriff's office is usually too busy for non-emergency calls like this one, Deputy Sheriff Chase Mason happened to be available to help. "This isn't something we normally do." Quote, this isn't something we normally do, but he wasn't busy at the time and he was in the area, so he stopped by. Mason has a stepson that's about the same age, so he sat down and helped. And this sentence is constructed in such a way that it almost wants to break your brain, because they're filling in gaps of context. So Mason, who is the sheriff, stopped by and has a stepson that's about the same age. And then they go ... And so he sat down and helped, and then in brackets, the child with, and then in brackets, their math, and then in brackets, at their home. This is insane construction for a quote. Just quote. Anyway, sat down and helped with math. That's how it was normally said. Why not just leave it the quote? Anyway, personally, they say again in a quote, "I am not overly proficient when it comes to math, but nonetheless, I responded to assist." They were provided a business card and told that they're always here to help. Next time, he should probably use the non-emergency number if it's not a life-threatening situation. A great teaching moment for all. So 2 people said that they're not proficient in math to do a math homework for a 10-year-old. All right. So the next article is over in the Wanted channel. OpenAI reportedly takes aim at Chrome with a new browser. Apparently, Google is going to have to break off some portion of it. So I don't know exactly what is going to happen with Google Chrome, but OpenAI's ChatGPT is one of the most well-known AI chatbots out there, and it's making huge strides in the AI space in recent years. It is the strides in AI. I'm not sure about it's been making huge strides. It is the metric by which strides are measured, I suppose. Anyway, in recent years, and now more than ever, it has its eyes set on besting Google's Chrome. A new report from The Information suggests OpenAI is considering making a web browser, one that could rival Google's Chrome market dominance. I have an idea for a browser, but I can't talk about it because I need a programmer, because, hey, you know those 8 programming languages? I don't know any of them sufficiently enough to program a browser. Anyway, find it really interesting that on the heels of Google getting broken up to separate its Chrome browser and its advertising and other areas all being assessed to see what should be broken away, for antitrust monopolistic practices and whatnot, OpenAI wants to bring a browser. As long as I'm not getting tracked to the point where I'm getting a colonoscopy report, I'm not too worried about browsers. I would love to have a browser that I'm more in control of than less in control of. OpenAI's chat browser, though, I don't know, it hallucinates. So what's going to be real? Maybe this article should be in the Reality Hacker podcast. That's tomorrow. OpenAI and Google are already racing each other with ChatGPT and Gemini. And this is pronounced Gemini, but the space, the astronaut space project thing, what do you call it? I don't know. Anyway, it was Gemini, which is a weird pronunciation for it, but I guess that's how it's supposed to be pronounced. Anyway, so far we know that OpenAI has hired 2 staff members that played a major part in making Chrome for Google, Ben Goodger and Darren Fisher, via TechRadar, according to the article. And according to StatCounter, Chrome holds 66.7% of the market share for a browser market worldwide. So hiring 2 key players previously involved with it seems like a decent first step. Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. Another browser adds some competition, but the real juggernaut is that it's producing. Google's Chrome browser is generating revenue with every use and search. Everything that you click on through the browser and through the search engine sends telemetry. Every time you go to a web page, it has Google tracking AdWords integrated into Google. And so it's this big money generating circle. Gave weapons for both sides, really. Anyway, if I missed it, Craig Donaldson over at pocket-lint.com put the article together. I might have missed it in my zeal to address OpenAI reportedly making a browser. Let's move on. This next article is over in WarCrafters. A YouTuber uses science to discover the most painful Lego to step on. Lego bricks are neat, it says, and fun. Well, I added the bricks. Anyway, they are Lego bricks. They're not Lego. They're Lego bricks. Lego brand bricks, to be exact. But anyway, Lego are neat, fun, and incredibly durable. Long after our names have been forgotten and our ancestral bloodlines have been wiped out, their colorful plastic bodies will persist until the heat death of the universe, and they'll also hurt like hell when you step on them. So this article over at Kotaku.com by Ethan Gatch put the article together. And the deck statement says a lot of pieces hurt, but only one might send you to the hospital. Wonder which one it would be. I mean, the implication is these little ones, but there has to be another. Maybe that wedged one. There's one that's like a, it's a 2 brick, but 2x3, but it has a wedge part to it. So I wonder if that's the one. Anyway, so anyone who played with Lego as a kid or still does probably knows this firsthand. Anyone who plays with Lego definitely, anyone with kids definitely does. As a parent, you don't think that you'll step on all the crap your fledgling spawn will leave behind. But guess what? Apparently, that's what happens. You step on them. So one you've probably never heard of, it's a red wheel with a metal pin in it that Lego stopped producing long ago, back before the company's engineers and manufacturing processes were as high-tech and refined as they are today. There were some Lego pieces that actually relied on metal to complete the connection. Those red wheels, if stepped on hard at the right angle, bring more than a Home Alone style pain. Scoville remarks that you'd probably want to make sure your tetanus shots were up to date if you got nailed by one of them. Scoville can't be the same Scoville, is it? Scoville crowdsourced info from Lego enthusiasts on Reddit and Discord to narrow down the most potentially painful pieces. So I guess there is a wheel out there. There's a link to a video. It's embedded actually in this Kotaku added article. It's called "Which Lego Hurts the Most to Step On." I won't play it. You can play it. Go click the link. All right. This next article is over in Smack Talk, HomeKit Weekly. Prepare for outdoor Christmas lights with the Leviton Matter-enabled Wi-Fi plug. Matter is a protocol. It does away with having to have hubs and things like that. And so one Matter device can talk to another Matter device. So if you plug this outside, you don't have to have any other connection. And so as everyone turns to Thanksgiving, the author of this article over at 9to5Mac is starting to see retail stores slowly bring out some of the Christmas items. And there's one thing that you need to have ready to go ahead of time, an outdoor smart plug for outdoor Christmas decorations, Christmas trees, etc. Smart plugs that can handle moisture and cold weather are a must-have, and Leviton has an option. It is the Decora Smart Outdoor Plug-in Switch. And this is kind of the go-to. I kind of dig this. So the Leviton Outdoor Smart Plug with Matter has strong weather protections designed to withstand the elements via a wide operating range of negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit to 122 degrees Fahrenheit and an IP65 rating to protect from dirt, dust, moisture, rain, sprinklers, hoses. Okay, rain, snow, and UV corrosion, which all of this is just brilliant. So it with Matter adding itself to HomeKit, then all you have to do is scan that QR code. You can manually plug it in as well, or manually type it in as well. But once it's attached to your HomeKit, you're good to go. You can control it from either of the apps, any app that actually works with HomeKit. So, but there is one that's called Home that goes with your iPhone. Leviton includes the Matter code on the underside of the device, but they also include it in the manual, especially for outdoor devices. They appreciate having that backup code. Yeah, I agree. So pretty cool. Go check it out. Might have to get a couple of those for the mayoral mansion. Okay, let's move on. The next article is over in the Mobile channel. Ryugu asteroid sample rapidly colonized by terrestrial life despite strict contamination control. Panspermia is the hypothesis that life can survive the transfer between planetary bodies as a secondary path for life to get started on planets throughout the solar system, or a solar system. The discovery of extraterrestrial life on asteroids or within meteorites would be profound and have profound implications for understanding the origins and distribution of life in the universe, because some believe that an asteroid crashed into Earth and seeded it. Well, apparently, according to this article, Justin Jackson from phys.org, over at phys.org is where it's published, they write that microorganisms found in chondritic meteorites have long fueled debates about extraterrestrial life reaching Earth. Researchers from Imperial College London have discovered that a space-returned sample from asteroid Ryugu was rapidly colonized by terrestrial microorganisms, even under stringent contamination measures. In the study, rapid colonization of a space-returned Ryugu sample by terrestrial microorganisms, published in the journal Meteoritics and Planetary Science, researchers analyzed sample A0180, a tiny 1 by 0.8 millimeter particle collected by the JAXA Hayabusa 2 mission from asteroid 162173 Ryugu. Transported to Earth in a hermetically sealed chamber, the sample was opened in nitrogen in a class 10,000 clean room. Didn't know there was a class 10,000 clean room. To prevent contamination. Individual particles were picked with sterilized tools and stored under nitrogen in airtight containers. Before analysis, the sample underwent nano X-ray computed tomography and was embedded in a resin, and was embedded in an epoxy resin block for scanning electron microscopy. Apparently, rods and filaments of organic matter interpreted as filamentous microorganisms were observed on the sample surface. Variations in size and morphology of these structures resembled known terrestrial microbes. Observations showed that the abundance of these filaments changed over time, suggesting that the growth and decline of a prokaryote population with a generation time of 5.2 days. So it actually, but was it on there to begin with and multiplied because it was now in a hospitable atmosphere? Results of the study determined that terrestrial biota had rapidly colonized the extraterrestrial material, even under strict contamination protocols. So researchers recommend enhanced contamination control protocol or procedures for future sample return missions to prevent microbial colonization and ensure the integrity of extraterrestrial samples. So something got into it even though it was supposedly sealed. Interesting. All right. Let's keep moving. Next article is over in the Mobile channel. This actually comes from RTE, so it's Ireland in general. But we haven't seen the article, so let's take a look. Most consumers don't trust Black Friday deals. Most consumers don't trust it based on research. So Gil Stedman over at RTE.IE put the article together, and it says the report published by the Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, or CCPC, reveals that just 30% of consumers believe that the discounts displayed by businesses are genuine. The findings are being released ahead of Black Friday, which takes place this day next week, November 29th, and Cyber Monday, which follows on December 2nd. The research also suggests that overall interest in Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales has dropped significantly from last year, probably because people are trying to survive and not necessarily spending on Black Friday, which might be considered a luxury. The research also suggests that overall interest in Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales have dropped. Just 36% of those surveyed planned to make a purchase, compared to 45% last year. So there you go. Yeah, it's these pressure, time-bound special offers put pressure, and more and more of us are being kind of taught the lesson that if something is thrust in our face and told, well, it's going to be gone if you don't hurry now, go sign the paper or buy the thing or whatever, then it's probably a scam. So trust but verify. Just do some due diligence and see if you find a better deal somewhere else. All right, this next article is over in the Mobile channel. Human washing machine will cleanse your body and mind in 15 minutes. You can take a shower in 5. Anyway, when Yasuki Aoyama was a boy, he caught a glimpse of a concept for a shower that blew his mind, shown off at the 1970 Japan World Expo. The shower was an egg-shaped pod that filled with water and released massaging balls that would scrub the body of the person inside of this ridiculous human washing machine. So lo and behold, they create one. Louis Prada over at Vice.com put the article together. AI will analyze your mood and project calming visuals to enhance the bathing experience. If I understand it correctly, it'll also adapt its water to you as well. Aoyama's version, called the Mirai Ninjin Sentakuki, which translates to human washing machine of the future, will be showcased at the Osaka Kansai Expo in April of 2025. Like the pod that inspired Aoyama many decades ago, the human washing machine of the future is a sleek pod that treats you the way your washing machine treats your clothes when you put it on the gentle cycle. And it says, honestly, it kind of looks like one of the helmets worn by Daft Punk guys. But I don't have a picture of it because it's over at Instagram. And I'm air-gapped, so I don't have access to it. You can, though. When you follow the link through ohmTown, you will be able to see it just fine. All of the extra relaxation stuff is in there to wash the mind along with the body. No word yet on whether it can scrub out your thoughts or your memory of that thing you did last summer. You know the one. You know what you did. All right, our next article is over at Non Sequitur News. VPN company CyberGhost says that TechDirt apparently infringed its copyright in an advertisement that they ran for them a decade ago. It says, we rarely log into Facebook these days, but happened to do so last week and was a bit surprised to see this pop up, saying that an advertising post that they had put up for the VPN service CyberGhost nearly a decade ago had to be removed. I've actually received that kind of a thing from Google, of all places. And nearly a year ago, I promoted a show. And I received a couple of weeks ago now, maybe a week ago, a notice that it had electioneering or something like that attached to it. And I'm like, I don't do any electioneering. I talk about science, technology, and society and merging them together. And I don't talk really politics. But lo and behold, two of the other, in this last week, two other episodes that I wanted to promote have been blocked because of this electioneering bullshit. It drives me nuts. Anyway, so TechDirt put the article together. Mike Masnick from the you want us to do what now department over at techdirt.com. They put the article together, and it says that there's a post that they cut out from Facebook, and it says that they removed content. So that's the notice that you see above, saying that Facebook had to remove a TechDirt post from way back in 2016, simpler times, and a button saying see why. And so it says that it infringes somebody's copyright, except that they were actually paid apparently to provide this as an advertisement. In the options, it says you can appeal directly to Facebook or can email the original reporter, who turns out to be CyberGhost themselves. So I guess TechDirt got paid for it and then ended up having to pay for it in a, I guess, infrastructure sort of way. It says, yes, that's right. CyberGhost issued a copyright claim against our post, not our post, but TechDirt's post, promoting their own service from nearly 10 years ago. It's hard to fathom what possible copyright they could have violated by literally advertising the service they asked to advertise via TechDirt. Yeah. I would not be surprised. It says, but this raises a bigger question. And it's probably what my question is too. What is CyberGhost's endgame here? Are they going around issuing bogus takedowns for ancient posts advertising their service? Do they want to memory hole their own marketing history for some reason? Or was it just an overzealous bot or confused employee clicking the wrong buttons? That is, I assume, overzealous AI, which is going to be the bane of our future existence, because these bots have no humanity. They just know on or off, no context, no nothing. They're just idiots. And so we'll all end up paying the price, because I paid for services and even I've been flagged, even though I'm not supposed to be flagged. All right, so let's go to the last article for today. I'm kind of ripping through all of these articles. You'll be able to go back to enjoying your Friday. This next article is in the mobile channel. Let me back up. This gigantic 85-inch Sony 4K TV drops below $1,000. It's insane that an 85-inch Sony 4K TV is less than $1,000. It says Black Friday Madness is here. Keep in mind, this TV might not fit in every living room. No, it fits in every living room. Just get it. If you have to stick a corner of it out of the side of the house so that it fits in your living room, open a window or something. The article is actually over at gizmodo.com, and it's under Gizmodo deals, but we, Mayor Watt, ohmTown, nothing gets a kickback from this. All I was interested in was seeing this article and linking you to it if you were interested. Just keep in mind, this TV might not fit. But it says it's $998, 33% off its original $1,500 price. I'm actually thinking of getting it so that it can just be one giant monitor sitting in front of me for all of my computing needs. I mean, it's a 4K TV. That would be great. It could sit, I could get rid of all of this in front of me and just put one monitor against the wall 6 feet away. That'd be great. It says, for those concerned about holiday shopping logistics, Amazon offers an extended return policy for this product. You have until January 31st, 2025 to return it. It's the Sony X77L boasts a 4K processor X1, which enhances picture quality by upscaling. So it's not true 4K, it's upscaling 4K. But it says that it supports 4K HDR, which allows for a wider range of colors and improved contrast. It's an 85-inch TV for under $1,000. In terms of connectivity, though, it says that it has multiple HDMI ports so that you can connect various devices such as gaming consoles, Blu-ray players, etc. To it. But really, it's TV. So connect your console, connect your Apple TV, and be done with it. And any smart features, belay that. Do not connect your smart TV to your network, because you really have zero control over its firmware and whatnots. If you're going to do it, then create a subnet, a separate network is what I mean. Create a separate network for only it to be on, and go from there. Don't let anything else get on that network. All your IoT devices should be broken off so that nothing can communicate with it, and it can't communicate or do any telemetry gathering and sending out, because they do that kind of stuff and it's gross, very cringe. Anyway, that is it. So we're gonna reboot our Sony TV, and it's gonna snap us back to the front page of ohmTown.com, where you can go and become a citizen, and then you get to mess around with all of these articles. So that's it. We're done. Have a good Friday, and we'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget, follow us here on Twitch and here on YouTube. Like and subscribe. And don't forget to download the podcasts. There's a whole bunch of them out there for you. So, bye-bye.